Alright, what you see here is a Envirofan Goldline industrial ceiling fan. I got this from Mark Wilson for free. I visited him one day with Nathan right before I was planning to go to Fanimation last year, but that did not happen due to already mentioned details. If you guys want to know what happened, just watch the video explaining why I wasn't at Fanimation, because I've already explained it a few times. But yeah, back to the fan. I got this from him, and he had 4 of these from around the same era as this one, and he said I can have one, so I figured since I don't have a gold one, I'd take him up on that offer. This fan is from 2004, 2005. There's an earlier sticker that says 2004, so I'm going with 2004. Now, from this distance, it looks to be in very good shape. However, there's quite a bit of dings and nicks on it, on the motor and the blades. But the fan itself runs fine. Now, these gold lines are huge childhood fans for me. A few places to mention is Bonker's Funhouse Pizza. They used to have 2 Union era ones, and those were replaced by 48-inch Daytons with the red lines of curved blades. Then there was the one that used to be a phone store, the Metro PCS place. Now, currently, it's a vintage toy store, and that's from the early to mid 80s. Looks like this, except it has the older style blades with the rivets on the bottom instead of the 4 rivets. Another place I've seen these at is the Goodyear. They had one in the waiting room, and there was 2 in the tire area where they did the work to them and such. There's quite a few other places I've seen these at. There's that Chinese restaurant that was next to the now vintage toy store that was replaced by the Home Decorators Collection Murray ceiling fan, I think it's called. The fan wasn't thrown out. It's just the people who rented out that space now opted for a different fan, something that wasn't as heavy duty. So the owner took it down and let them put up whatever, and the owner kept it and relocated it in a different location. A lot of places I've seen these at as a kid. I feel like I see more of the Union era ones in a sense compared to this type, or this styled motor one with the stepped motor that you see here. But I do like this version. It's a little bit dinged up, and I definitely plan to fix it up at some point, but I did touch up some of the paint on the blades a little bit. The motor, it's not really worth doing. Let's see if I can find the sticker. March 2005, it says right there. However, if I look at another Hilo sticker, right here, it says, I'm trying to read what it says. View the camera. June of 2004. And here's the Enviro sticker on top. There's the infamous Envirofan sticker that you always see on Envirofans or Banfield Envirofans, etc. Or Northwest Envirofan. Extra heavy duty industrial ceiling fan. You always seem to see them with stickers that aren't completely slapped on there properly. I'm not sure why, but it just seems to be the thing. But like I was saying with the motor, as you can see, it is kind of scuffed up, some paint lost in some areas. The blades, this one's probably in the best shape, despite finish-wise, it's a little bit bent. This one here has that scratch, and there's some areas here. I don't like that. And that one's probably the least bent one. And then this one's probably the worst one, as you can see with the paint finish. And there's paint chipping here. Some chipping on this one as well. It might have been, I'm not sure where these were installed. They might have been installed in a place that maybe had chemicals that caused the paint to maybe chip off over time. I'm not sure. But the paint's really not that. The blades are very, I mean, I think they're aluminum, but they're not really solid. Not to say that the fan itself isn't a solid made fan, it's more so the blades are kind of flimsier compared to older gold lines. I have tested an older one up close, a Union one. I'm waiting to get that video up, but this is a while back, but it's just not public yet. And the blades are definitely heavier and they were more solid than these ones. Motor was a bit heavier too, obviously, as it was a Union era version. For testing, I am using this 4-speed Leviton control. So yeah, without further ado, let me go ahead and start off on the low speed. These fans are probably the best industrial fan you can get on the market to this day in the United States. The motor is cast iron, so it definitely holds up well with heat dissipation, as it won't. The motors are it's very rare that you see these motors overheating. Now, in terms of the quality compared to the older ones, they're definitely not as good. Not to say that they're not good fans. They're still definitely really well-made fans, but compared to the older versions that were sold back in the day, they definitely have more of a failure rate, I could say, with like capacitors or bearings and such. And also they cut costs later on, and as almost every other company has as well. But it's still definitely, without a question, like the best industrial fan you can buy. I do want to get straight blades for a gold line as well at some point, just to test how they perform with straight blades. They sell these to this day still, and as well in a black finish. They used to sell them in brown, but they discontinued them like a little bit before 2015, I think. I have seen quite a few of these in like some auto shops as well. Like there were the two Union ones near the college I went to. And there's currently one now, as one of them had a failed capacitor, I think, and they replaced it with Silverline. They were originally going to put a Hansberry Industrial in its place, but I told them it's better to get something from this company. Originally they were going to hold it for me, but I guess they forgot, and they've tossed it, sadly. But there's quite a few Union era ones in my area that I know of that I have my eye out in case they ever get rid of them, and they do have my info, so. There's a good low speed to it. I do wish it had more of an aesthetic glow, but I mean, in terms of like, it really wouldn't do much on aesthetic glow. Stuff that would be perfect for like church, an arcade, warehouses, auto shops especially. They can be used in commercial locations, but if you just need something that does a good job moving air, you don't. I definitely can say there's more affordable options, but this is just more for like harsher environments in a sense. Not that it's a harsh environment, waterproof fan, but it's just built to take more damage in a sense, like, or heavier usage. But it's nice and quiet. I do kind of like that the motor's just a little bit roughed up. it definitely gives a more worn look for an industrial fan. The blades, however, I definitely want to try to fix, touch up a little bit. Not for low 2 or... Oh, there we go. It's hard to tell which direction it is with the coloration and such. It's funny though, because I remember when I'd go to Bonkers as a kid, I always thought that the harsh environment agricultural cast date in there was the oldest fan, not the 2 gold lines that they had there, the Union ones. That's because that fan was more discolored, hence why, which was the reason why I thought it was an older fan. And then I thought it was the Unions that were the second oldest, and then the leading edges, the ones that people tend to call day turds. Still wish I could have gotten those fans, but I mean, I do have a harsh environment one at least, so a little bit more dinged up than and such, but at least I have one. And same thing with the leading edge Daytons. And they definitely, because I know that place used to be from what I was told, it used to be a grocery store, hence the setup and such, with like the ceiling. Then it turned like a play place, and then in '97 or something like that, it turned into Bonkers. And I remember seeing some old photos that there were originally more great gold lines there. There was a second one. I mean, there was the 2, like the 4 in the area, the front area, the leading edges. Then third one in was a gold line. Third one in on the other side was not a Dayton thing, but it was more off to the side. The second one that was on this side, basically, I remember seeing a picture of it, that it used to be a gold line there, of the Union era. I mean, those things definitely were known to kind of have failed capacitors over time, so, or that's probably what happened. Yeah, I really do wish I got those fans, but I have a lot of memories with them and pictures and videos of them, so it's nothing I can do now. Even a nice gentle breeze on this speed. Right now for medium. Now, people do say that, not everyone, but there's quite a few people out there that feel like gold lines are the strongest performing industrial fans. Definitely not true. They're one of the strongest ones, but there's a lot of fans out there, or quite a few out there that outperform them. Like the old cast SMCs, for an example, from like the 70s, those outperform these without a question. There's like a lot of this fans from the 70s are like and such, or for example, like industrials, a lot of those do outperform these. Not to say that they're not good air moves, but it's definitely an overstatement to say that these are the best performing industrials ever, that is. I mean, they're definitely the best ones in the market right now in the United States in terms of quality and such, but I mean, for those who are wondering what are some fans that are stronger, definitely check out Charles S.'s channel. He has quite a few industrials he's tested that definitely outperform gold lines. I just can't remember all of them off the top of my head and such. Something that I always found funny is that with the silver lines, they used to have a different. The older ones, up until like 2013ish, I'd say, or 2012, had different canopies. Then around that time, they switched them to use the lower canopies that the gold lines use, and have those be the newer canopies. I used to wonder what's the point of them having a different canopy for them if they're both industrials. Maybe just to differentiate them for the consumer. But yeah, the build quality on the blades I can for these are about the same as the quality of the silver lines. But again, this is a more recent gold line, so it's not like you say in comparison as an older one. The motor obviously is definitely a lot heavier and better made. Definitely meant to withstand more. Alright, now to move up to the high speed. Now, it's definitely moving a ton of air. I mean, it's pretty hot right now while I'm testing it down here and very humid out, so it's probably the best fan to pick to test down here today. So. Seeing how this one hangs not extremely well with the original down rod gives me hope that some of the other fans that have a somewhat longer down rods than this, I can probably test with the down rods it came with. Like that KDK from the 70s era. And I can always put a somewhat of a shorter down rod on it, but I usually try to test the industrial fans, especially with the original down rod that it came with when I get them. Now, obviously, there's some that I can't, which is the reason why I haven't tested some of them yet. If they're getting warmer out, I'm definitely going to be able to test more of them. I'd rather test them when it's warmer out versus when it's too cold, or when it's cooler down here. For so many years, I'd rather try to test the stronger stuff. I'd rather not test weaker performing fans down here, like cheaper home center stuff, or that. Now I'm definitely feeling a very strong breeze from it way over here. It's definitely spreading the air around very nicely. Now directly underneath it, it is a strong breeze, but it's not as powerful as a straight blade fan is. Alright, let me go ahead and shut it off and do spin down. Now, one thing I will say is that compared to some of the other curved weight industrials I've tested down here, like the Proline 1, the SMC M48, the Hampton Bay SMC Industrial, I think that's it. That might be the only curved weighted ones I've tested down here aside from this. Um, in terms of the air movement from underneath it, I can definitely say that those outperform this one in terms of the air movement underneath. So they're spreading it out, same thing. However, the only reason why I say that is because that the only reason why I would say that they don't outperform this gold lines in general is because this one has mangled blades. So honestly, that's not really the fairest comparison and such. Especially since the pitch on one of them, you can kind of see. Well, actually, I'll wait for it to slow down a little bit more, and then you can see it more clearly. Um, One of them's pitch is which one is it? So one of them that's kind of the way it got bent. It's kind of messed up the pitch on it. So that's definitely affecting the airflow on it. I mean, it still moves a very good amount of air. It's just because of it, it's definitely decreasing the amount of air it normally would move. The reason why I didn't go all out on trying to really straighten them out is because since the blade's kind of flaking off in some areas kind of easily, I didn't want to cause the more paint to fall off it and then have to really repaint them when I just rather test it the way it is right now with a few touch-ups that I did already and then bring it back later on for a video of it fixed up more and such. Something I do find interesting with the gold lines, like the more newer ones like this, is that the blades kind of point upwards, whereas like the silver lines, they kind of point a little bit downwards. I notice, or they're just straight, whereas these kind of point upwards, somewhat kind of like a Fasco Charleston does, in a sense. And they don't really have as much of a curve to them like they used to. That and the blades on these are a bit skinnier. In fact, I think the blades on the silver lines are a bit wider than the blades on this. I should have put them side by side to actually confirm that. But yeah, this fan it's not the longest spin down, but considering it's the aluminum blades is not too heavy, but it's definitely a very well made fan. It's definitely worth getting if you need something that's new and to rely on. But if you can find an older fan, obviously that's a better um, made, like the Union ones or such, or like the Pro lines. I'd probably go with those. Not to say that the Pro line's better made than this, but it's definitely parts on this that's better, like the motor and such. But terms of performance, I definitely can say that would go faster. And I can definitely say the Pro line, I feel, goes faster than this, but also the pitch on this one's a bit messed up, so it's not really the fairest test. But, maybe it could also be the capacitor on this, but I do know that the Pro line definitely went faster than this fan without a question. Same time, though, a lot of gold lines I usually, now that I think about it, I don't think I've really seen gold lines go extremely fast like the Pro lines can. I kind of notice they go a little bit slower, but they are a heavier motor, so there is that to take into consideration. But that's because fast fan doesn't mean it's going to be a stronger one. But I mean, good 6 minutes of a spin down. That's not bad, honestly. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.